let's, I guess, break the news that Antoine was hoping and praying and everything else in between for the past, how long? How, like 2-3 months, maybe a little bit longer than that?
Yeah.
We saw a tweet from Shams come out yesterday at the time of recording that breaking, the New York Knicks are relieving Tom Thibodeau of his duties as head coach of the New York Knicks. Thibodeau led the Knicks to their first East Finals in 25 years, made the playoffs in 4 of 5 years, and led the Knicks to consecutive 50-plus win seasons for the first time since the 1990s. Shams will go on to quote his own tweet, saying the Knicks are singularly focused on their pursuit of a championship and believe a new voice will serve as the focus of the organization for the next step. After 5 seasons with the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau is out as head coach. And then the New York Knicks, after giving their PR statement, Leon Rose, the Knicks president of basketball operations, put out a statement on the Knicks Twitter. We'll put that on the screen as well, saying, in quote, "Our organization is singularly focused on winning a championship for our fans. This pursuit led us to this difficult decision to inform Tom Thibodeau that we've decided to move in another direction. We can't thank Tom enough for pouring his heart and soul into each and every day of being the New York Knicks head coach. He led us not only with class and professionalism for the past 5 seasons, but also to tremendous success on the court with 4 playoff berths and 4 playoff series victories. Ultimately, we made the decision we feel is best for our organization moving forward. Tom will always be a part of our Knicks family, and we truly wish him nothing but the best in the future." So a lot to unpack there regarding Tom Thibodeau as he exits the head coaching job for the New York Knicks. I guess we'll go over to the Knicks fan, Gio. No, I'm just kidding. Antoine, what are your thoughts on this decision from the New York Knicks?
Well, I mean, it's crazy, like, talking about it for the past months and, wanting it to happen and then hearing some fans saying that it's not going to happen and then it does happen and then you're like, look back at the fans and be like, see, I told you. I saw this from the beginning, as I always do. But I always want to thank Tibbs for what he did for us in the past 5 years. He brought us out of purgatory from a very lackluster teams, plural, and coaches from like Fizdale, Hornacek, Kurt Rambis, Derek Fisher. I can go on and on. Mike D'Antoni, Mike Woodson, Phil Jackson.
It was just
Phil Jackson was the GM, Gio, not the coach.
He didn't coach at one point?
He was the
Are we
president
sure
of the
about that?
basketball
he could have. I don't.
Pretty sure he coached.
No.
Melo, D Rose,
he wasn't
Joakim
a coach.
Noah. He was coaching that.
No, he was not. He was the GM.
Tyler, please fact
I'm
check
just gonna
this.
fact check.
I'm a Knicks fan. I know this.
All right, you probably were right then.
Let's
He
see.
was the GM.
As a coach, he was an assistant for the New Jersey Nets, but in the NBA, he only coached the Chicago Bulls and the LA Lakers.
Yeah,
Okay.
he
But
moved.
it was what you're talking about. He was the GM for maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
Right.
And kind of set that team up with Melo, and then
Yeah,
it all just
everybody.
kind of fell apart.
Right.
Yeah. But it's tough. I mean, the ironic part is that Leon Rose should be out too because the team that he built Tibbs to come on the court is not ideal for any team to work, especially the bench. Can't rely on certain guys. Cam Payne, Landry Shamet, DeLon Wright. Even the rookies didn't get enough playing time, and we know Tibbs would like to develop guys like Obi Toppin, for example, who's now in Indy, about to probably win his first ring of his career. And, the starting 5, we saw a lot of just iffy moments from a lot of the guys that left fans wanting more and just questioning Tibbs and the players themselves, like McHale, Josh Hart getting moved to the bench, Mitchell Robinson, just him on the offensive side, like what's going on, Cat with the foul trouble, and so on and so on. And if you watched every Knicks game this year, you could tell that something was internally wrong with the team and just how the coaching was and what was going on with the players. And I know they won 50 games, but it's telling to see a lot of fans and on Twitter and social media and in the games as well that they wanted Tibbs gone even before the playoffs. And the Pistons talk in the first series that he was gone if he was out. Same thing in the Celtics series that he was out. And then on the Pacers series, they're out and he gets fired. So it seems like they were just waiting for them to get out of the playoffs. And then Tibbs was going to get the boot and bring in somebody new. So, it would be crazy if they did make the final and he got booted out. Just insane. And, we move forward now. Again, I feel like Leon Rose should have gotten the boot as well. But it is his call. Dolan trusts in him for what he built so far. And maybe he has a shorter leash coming into now with the new head coach. With the team he builds around him, we'll have to see. But just gutted for Tibbs a little bit because he took a team that shouldn't have gone to the conference finals, I feel like, this year in a lot of ways. as Knicks fans said on Twitter. It was kind of an easier run for us with the injuries for the Celtics. The Pistons are probably the hardest test we had besides the Pacers as well. And, I think that Leon Rose wants the younger guys to get a lot of better looks next year, the rookies that you drafted this year and
Wait, Anthony.
this past year. Can I finish what I'm saying?
No, I want to ask a question.
No. Okay, ask me a question. Yeah, go ahead.
The question is, I'm kind of confused at where you're coming from because you're saying you don't know if Tibbs deserved to get fired, but then you're also saying he should have got fired. So what is your answer? Can be more clear. Did he deserve to get fired, or should he have? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm not a big fan of the thing that the reason why the way the firing happened, and from hearing the reports, is that he was supposed to be gone in every series if he lost. I don't like that. Let the coach the series, and then we'll talk about this after. That puts a lot on Tibbs' back. That's why I say I feel gutted for him, because having to hear that talk when you're trying to coach a series to win.
Okay.
You should be focused on the series. Firing stuff should be after the offseason when you get eliminated. That's why I'm gutted, but he should have been gone because the starters that were getting played to the ground, like Josh Hart, the bench, not trusting the bench guys, but again, Leon Rose is at fault for building that bench for Tibbs, but again, should have utilized it a lot more and put in guys that he trusted and developed, even the rookies as well. And Obi Thomas is another good example of that as well. Now he's in Indiana. But I felt it was time for him to go. The burnout of Tibbs was happening starting last year a little bit, but the injuries happened, and now this year we saw a little burnout from Tibbs, just defensively the most.
You're talking about from the players were burning out, right?
Well, Tibbs burnout too.
The whole team essentially, because when you're so good for so long, successful with a roster, and it doesn't really change much up until this season, things start to stale out. We talked about this with Denver earlier on in the season, that it was the same starting five, and everyone was kind of catching on. They were game planning well, and the team's just not as hungry as they were before. And I'm so divided on this because Tom Thibodeau deserved to lose his job because, like you said, the whole burnout. Did you see what Kenny Smith said after Game 6? That Tom Thibodeau wouldn't even play 9 guys in a baseball game. So there's certain aspects where that is pretty flagrant, and at the end of the day, a defensive-minded head coach shouldn't net the worst transition defense I've ever seen in my life. And there's little things that go into it. My issue is mainly with Leon Rose. It's not Tom Thibodeau's fault that 6 first-round picks were traded for Mikal Bridges. It's not Tom Thibodeau's fault that another first-round pick, Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, were traded for Karl Anthony Towns, who's known to not be a good defender.
Exactly.
It's not Tom Thibodeau's fault that Leon Rose made these moves. It's not Tom Thibodeau's fault that Leon Rose and the Knicks general managers can't draft. Because LeBron said it himself on his show. No, the same teams don't know how to draft. It really takes certain personnel to draft well and scout well and everything like that. And I think what irks me the most about Leon Rose, and this is something Stephen A. actually brought up earlier on First Take, this man refuses to face the bright lights in person. He hides behind these statements. He hides behind all these company answers and dancing around certain topics and everything like that. It's very cowardly. And we saw Sean Marks absolutely embarrass himself throughout the whole collapse of our big three in Brooklyn. He sat himself down in front of the press, man the freak up, I don't want to get demonetized, and answered every damn question that was in his face. Do I think Sean Marks is a good general manager? Depends on the day. But, he's a man of his word. Leon Rose doesn't tend to do those things. And, I don't know what else Tibbs could have done with this roster, because a defensive-minded head coach can't have a team full of cones really do this. And that's really the main problem. And now you're looking at the Knicks' future. It's very bleak with the lack of draft picks. You have one tradable pick, I think. You could swap in 2029 or 2030 or whatever. And it's not good. Tom Thibodeau was put in a precarious situation by Leon Rose and World Wide West and whoever else runs the New York Knicks. So that's kind of my main gripe with it. But what do you think, Gio? I know you were very supportive of Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah, I mean, look, Tom Thibodeau, I don't even know how you say his name. Is it Thibodeau?
It's Thibodeau, yeah.
Thibodeau.
So Tom Thibodeau, he has something that you can't really teach, and that is he has heart. He has passion. And that definitely rubs off on the guys. I feel like he's the type of coach that is going to get the most out of his players in any situation that he's in.
Right.
He's always going to do that. Whether he's playing 5 guys the game or 6, 7 guys, he's going to get the most out of the guys that are playing on the court every single time. So there's no doubt in my mind that even though he got fired, he's going to find a job instantly because he is a good quality coach.
If I'm Rick Carlisle or Jordy Fernandez or David Adelman or whoever,
Anyone.
if he doesn't get a head coaching job, get him on your assistant staff as soon as humanly possible.
Exactly. And it's up to him if he wants that. If he wants it, he can have it. I bet you there's all 30 teams is knocking at his door.
29.
You want 29. All 29 teams is knocking on his door asking, do you want a job here? You know what I mean? So, like, that's the type of coach he is. Unfortunately, like you guys said, he was the fall guy because Leon Rose didn't do his job properly.
Yeah.
I think that whoever the owners are of the Knicks,
James
who are
Dolan.
they?
James Dolan.
James Dolan.
Yeah.
He needs to lock in and see what's going on with Leon Rose because that's the root of the issue. Or maybe James Dolan is the root of the issue.
I mean, James Dolan also spoke to the media, so they're kind of in
Dolan.
lockstep.
Okay.
So Tom Thibodeau, this seemed like your classic run-of-the-mill scapegoat project.
Yeah.
It was as clear as day because, like,
So
look, I mean, if you think about it, like the Knicks, this is where it's more at fault for Leon Rose because the Knicks went 50-32 last season, made it to the second round, lost in 7 to the Pacers. This year, you make 2 massive trades, and you finish with 1 more win. You fall 1 seed back because Cleveland improved massively this year, and then you get to the conference final. You know, whether it was warranted or not, you upended Boston, a team that no one, including myself, all 3 of us, didn't give them a donkey's chance at even like winning 1 game. So, to me, this seemed like more of a Leon Rose issue. No.
Yeah.
And that's why I disagree with Anthony. I feel like, Anthony, you were kind of harsh on Thibodeau, at least yesterday. Maybe you changed
I mean, the decisions Thibodeau made in games, like Thibodeau should have been fired. It's just a matter of they should have done a full cleaning up shop just like Denver did.
A cleaning up shop of Leon Rose and Tibbs out. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and like a lot of Knicks fans are waiting for Leon Rose to have a press conference even before the trades he made. Like he does not like him and Will Rest. Like I understand like they're super agents and they have a lot of connections in the NBA, but like who's to say that super agents make good players, good people that run teams? You know, they have no experience. Like that's why you bring in other guys that have been assistant president of basketball or assistant GMs of other teams to running your teams because they've seen the process.
And that's the problem right there because if you kind of look at how this Knicks team is built, it's really expensive, overpaying trades. You only have Brunson there because of tampering. And then everyone that's drafted doesn't really pan out because the Knicks don't draft well.
Also, a report came out today. Are you familiar in like the credibility of Amico Hoops?
It sounds familiar.
Is Amico?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But what does it say?
So Sam Amico today put out a statement that multiple Knicks players are unhappy with the presence of Rick Brunson on the bench.
Oh, wow.
And Hoops Wire sources said that multiple Knicks players are unhappy with the presence of assistant coach Rick Brunson, the father of Jalen Brunson. What the issue is exactly has not been determined, though. Sources suggest that Rick has had too big a say in things.
Well, it's the truth. You know, I don't remember Remember when Dante DiVincenzo was barking at the bench in the preseason? I don't remember if he was talking to Tibbs or if he was talking to Rick Brunson. But I do remember in Game 4 that Benedict Mathurin, who was having an awful series, Rick Brunson was chirping at him. Benedict Mathurin chirped right back, and he had himself a career game.
I remember. I think the Devo was to Rick Brunson. I'm pretty sure.
I
remember that clear as day.
Yeah, because I'm not too sure, but he is a head case, and you know he could wind up becoming the Knicks head coach. I know they're looking at Johnny Bryant. I know they're looking at they could look at a guy like Michael Malone, or they could look at a Taylor Jenkins or a Mike Brown or whoever.
They were saying today, Dan Hurley, Jay Wright are out. Udoka, they wanted to interview Udoka. He's out.
Why would Udoka leave Houston?
They're interested in, I think, Johnny Bryant. We'll get into Jordan Ott because he took the Phoenix job. Johnny Bryant opens up a lot more for us now.
Yeah.
I hear Jason Kidd because of the Giannis relationship to bring him over to New York. I don't know.
It just seems like a lot of hoops to jump through.
Jason Kidd would come back to New York to coach.
Yeah.
I think it's Johnny Bryant or lose.
My guess is I think Johnny Bryant's your safe bet because
familiarity.
It's more familiarity. I just don't really think like Michael Malone seems too similar to Tibbs in the sense that he doesn't really trust the young guys much. It's why he got fired because him and Calvin Booth didn't see eye to eye. I mean, do you have any sort of inklings, Gio? Do you have any preferences of who you think the Knicks should hire?
Well, don't let it be Rick Brunson. That's all. Anyone but Rick. That's all I think. Whoever you think is good. I mean, I'm not following like all the coaches and everything, so I don't even have like a good opinion on this.
We know Malone, Mike Brown, and Jenkins are out there.
I know Malone would be a good fit.
Jenkins could be like a good stopgap for a few years.
Maybe Jenkins.
You still have Mike Budenholzer still out there.
Bud, yes.
You still have Mark Jackson out there who's still looking to coach, who could potentially make his return to the NBA.
I don't see Mark for the Knicks.
Knicks fans, now that Ott got hired to Phoenix, are calling for Johnny Bryant.
Yeah.
That's what they want. Because they were worried about him getting Phoenix. Now it's not him. It's opened up the door for him a lot more.
That's fair.